From clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
Straight to breaking news now. A deputy arrested during the investigation of a deadly carjacking could get out of jail tonight after a judge's ruling. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Julie Broughton.
And I'm Lisa Bell. This all surrounds the case of 31-year-old Catherine Aguas Vivas, who deputies believe was murdered after this carjacking a week ago today near Winter Springs. On Monday, Deputy Francisco Estrella Chicon was arrested. Investigators say he used a fake name to call detectives to try and get information about the case. News 6's Catherine Silver is live at the Seminole County Jail with these breaking details for us. Catherine?
The judge just signed the order late this afternoon granting Francisco Estrella a $15,000 bond. I did speak with his attorney on the phone, and he tells me Estrella should be walking out of the jail here sometime tonight and returning home. And Estrella has pled not guilty to all 5 felony charges he is facing. His defense attorney tells me that he told the truth about what he did as soon as he was confronted, and that is his only involvement in this whole ordeal. I'm live in Seminole County. Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Catherine, thank you. And as you already know, this story has a lot of twists and turns and continues to develop as the search continues for those carjackers. Find a timeline on the investigation from 1 week ago to today at clickorlando.com. It's under Top Stories.
Also developing for crime scene investigators were out in a neighborhood in Melbourne more than 12 hours after a man was found shot several times on his front porch. He is expected to survive, but questions remain about how this happened. Sky 6 flew over the scene today along Coventry Road. You can see the CSI van out there. Police say the victim returned home just after midnight to find 2 strangers inside his home, and he was immediately shot as they ran off. Right now, it is unclear why this happened, but police do not suspect this was a random act. People who may have information about this are asked to call the Melbourne Police Department.
Turning to our weather now and the start of the heat streak. This is a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. We are inching close to the 90s. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is in for Tom tonight. And Jonathan, this is the warmest stretch we've seen in a while.
Yeah, since way back in late September of last year, of course. Temperatures all over the place, right around 90 degrees still at this hour. As we reach peak heating, we'll see if we officially touched it at the airport when the official climate report comes out for today. We're at 87 degrees at the Villages, 82 for us in Palm Coast, a nice mild 88 in Umatilla. Good afternoon at the Cape. We're at 81 degrees, 84 for us just inland in Titusville. Temperature is going to remain warm all evening, and then we are really cranking up the thermostat for the rest of the work week, getting into tomorrow and then beyond. Wait to see the forecast update for the weekend. Satellite and radar giving us a mainly clear sky. That's something that's going to stay with us as well over the next couple of days. Just a few passing clouds. Tomorrow we'll see a few extra bubble up again with the heating of the day, and just a few clouds out there as well this evening. Hopefully getting another Starlink launch tonight. The weather looks great. 90% shot for go here in terms of the weather. The winds out of the south and east at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, this weekend could be pushing record territory in the temperature department. We're going to break all of that down, guys, coming up in about 10 minutes.
See you then, Jonathan. Thank you. In Brevard County, we are asking for any updates after a Brightline train hit and killed someone on the tracks. The deadly crash is under investigation at the Barefoot Boulevard crossing in Micco. Sky 6 flew over the scene. It happened just before noon today. So far, the sheriff's office has not been able to release any more information or details as it's still an active investigation.
Former President Donald Trump's historic trial in New York picked back up today with more complications in the jury selection process. Trump, the first former president to face criminal charges, is accused of falsifying business records in a so-called hush money case. Michael George reports from New York. This is the first of Trump's 4 criminal cases to go to trial, and maybe the only one that sees a verdict reached before the November election.
As Jonathan was saying, SpaceX is expected to send up another batch of Starlink internet satellites tonight. It's just about 24 hours after yesterday's liftoff for the same reason. Falcon 9 blasted off just before 5:30 last night. Tonight, they will try again. This time, the launch is planned for 6:40 p.m. When it happens, you can watch it live on News 6, News 6 Plus, and clickorlando.com.
Now at 4, a new bill just signed by Governor DeSantis will allow volunteer school chaplains to provide services to students.
The governor says the measure bolsters existing resources that could help students with their mental health.
But the ACLU says it is a violation of the separation of church and state. News 6's Ezzy Castro was at Toho High School in Osceola County, where the governor signed that and another bill into law. And it has been a busy week for bill signing for Governor DeSantis. On Monday, he signed 14 others into law that cover a variety of issues. We're talking everything from tax collection to swimming lessons for kids. You can read all about those bills at clickorlando.com.
Well, spring is usually the start of a busy real estate market, but it seems home sales are down. Americans are still dealing with a tough housing market as home sales fall and prices climb. The National Association of Realtors reported the median price of an existing home was close to $394,000 last month. That is the highest March price on record and an increase of nearly 5% from a year earlier.
Listen up, Lake County. WKMG is taking our newscast on the road. Next up, Montverde in the 34756 zip code, and we want your input. What makes your community so great, and what needs to be changed? Just head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad right now and let us know what you want us to cover in your neighborhood. An exhibit that's been a decade in the making is now open.
Florida's wildlife takes center stage at the Orlando Science Center.
Our News 6 Insider Guide takes you into the new Life exhibit and how you can win free tickets next.
And a grand opening brings long lines at this new supermarket all before the sun even came up. Why locals have been eagerly waiting for this day. You're watching News 6 at 4, getting results. We'll be right back during the break. We are streaming live on Facebook. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook right now.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System. News 6 hit the road to East Orlando and asked you to tell us your concerns about your community. You said this dangerous abandoned mobile home park was a neighborhood hazard.
It looks like, a bomb or a hurricane just went through there.
So we got to work, investigated, and got results. Now it's being torn down. Meeting you and helping make positive change in the community is why News 6 is hitting the road. How can we help you? Go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad now and let us know. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
A new attraction in Orlando has finally come to life.
You can get cozy with some native and exotic animals, all in the name of education.
News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer checked out Life at the Orlando Science Center. It's an exhibit millions of dollars and a decade in the making.
That looks really nice.
I remember 20 years ago when they had very few animals. One was Abby the prairie dog, and that was really thrilling. And I don't think Abby's with us anymore, but now you can go be among sloths.
That's really
that's
cool.
cool.
I want to go. I don't
Me
have
too.
kids, but let's just go as adults together.
Yeah.
It looks like a fantastic time.
Yeah.
I love that the dad said he used to go, and
Yes.
it's like you remember things like that for your entire life.
Yes, the Science Center is great for adults too. If you're a News 6 Insider, you could win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Orlando Science Center. It is free, and insiders can enter every day until April 25th. To be an insider, just sign up on clickorlando.com/insider. Meteorologist Jonathan Keggis is here. Oh, you've got the Mount Dora camera behind you.
Nice.
Every time I try to use it, it moves. But, looks like it's cooperating.
You have to catch it at a good time.
Yes. So we're talking about 90s, Jonathan.
Yeah, it is hot if you're heading into Mount Dora. If you're watching in Mount Dora, good afternoon, good evening, whatever your perspective is. Head us a live look in Mount Dora again from the city of Mount Dora, Cam, this afternoon. Temperatures in the lower 80s right now. The breeze is out of the east-southeast at about 13 miles an hour. Again, it has been a really hot day. Again, the good news, we keep on talking about this. If you like some of the heat without the humidity, this is the perfect time for you as we have temperatures again pushing the mid to upper 80s right now along the I-4 corridor, low to mid 80s along the coast still at this hour. We're at 86 for us in Leesburg and to Claremont, Montverde. Good afternoon. We're back to the middle 80s as well. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage Plans.
Very warm evening. We're hanging tight back to the upper 80s by 6 o'clock. Again, we're going to keep that warmth with us for tonight. 81 by 8 o'clock with that breeze continuing to be out of the east and southeast. By 10 o'clock tonight, we're holding tight into the mid-70s. Another quiet evening for us. Even hotter tomorrow. We've been talking about this, that once we would get to Thursday, it would be our stretch of around 90 degrees or hotter. And there we go, cranking up the thermostat further. Bushnell, we're back to around 90 tomorrow. Same for us in Apopka. Sanford into Lake Monroe, we're back to the lower 90s. We're at 92 degrees in Orlando. Palm Coast, we're also flirting with the 90s tomorrow, back to 89 degrees. Now, we mentioned about the humidity again. It's going to slowly start to make a comeback as we get towards the second half of the weekend. The dew point's the most important number again. That drier air again tomorrow, where you see the gray color on your screen, dew points in the 50s for the most part. We're still into that comfort zone in terms of the humidity. Still going to be hot, but comfortably hot, if you will. Now, as we get into Sunday, note that number starts to creep back up to around 60. It's really once you get to the upper 60s and then certainly the 70s and the dew point temperature, that's when you start to feel really humid. And once we get into Monday, out ahead of a cold front, that's when some of that humidity starts to surge back into central Florida. Look at the heat coming our way, though. 92 degrees tomorrow, middle 90s both Saturday and Sunday. That's going to put us in record territory for the weekend in the high temperature department. And then you see it right there. Cold front comes through on Monday. That's going to increase our rain chances a little bit. We're back to the upper 80s, mid to upper 80s on Tuesday. So a little bit cooler for us, at least a break from the 90s. And then we're back right to around 90 degrees again for Wednesday and Thursday. Again, the best shot of rain over the next 7 days, guys, only on Monday.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Get weather anytime with your smartphone. Download the free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Search WKMG in your app store.
Well, it was a lovely afternoon to have lunch outside, and that's exactly what a bunch of us did today. I had the honor of emceeing Lift Orlando's Legacy in Bloom Women's Luncheon today. It was phenomenal. It was outside under a tent. This was in the West Lakes area of Orlando, right outside of their wellness center. The event honors and celebrates the undeniable impact of women in our community. Today's event was a way to show support and invest in the community. Those are kids from Orange Center Elementary School. They performed for the crowd today. They did a phenomenal job. And just the people in the community who come and show up for these kids, it's so important. We heard from a Jones graduate who, there she is right there, named Simone. She also got a scholarship from Lift Orlando, and she wants to be a veterinarian. She's already starting down that path. She's a 2023 graduate. Wonderful. And she talked about how it was hard for her to really just meet new people, and that would have held her back had she not met the people from Lift Orlando. And they were just able to help her just blossom into the young woman she is today. That's so incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
They do incredible
And that
work.
organization's really transforming that part of Central Florida right by the Citrus Bowl.
I tell you, I did not learn about this community until about 3 years ago when I did a story on the Boys and Girls Club there. And now when I drive through it, it has transformed just completely.
And a lot of people hear about it, but they don't know exactly where it is. But right by Camping World Stadium,
it's
making
beautiful.
a big difference.
It's really phenomenal. Well, a grand opening for a much anticipated store.
People lined up before dawn to be the first inside.
Coming up, the latest public supermarket open in Central Florida and the signature item missing from this new store. You're watching News 6 at 4, getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
All right, guys, the wait is finally over for Publix shoppers in Oviedo. This newly rebuilt store on Alafaya Woods Boulevard opened this morning with a line going out the door. The grocery store had been closed for more than a year to allow crews to demolish and rebuild a 55,000 square foot replacement.
This one's especially special because we're reopening. We know folks have been waiting on it for a while, and we're just excited to have everybody back.
That looks nice. Dozens of locals showed up at 7 this morning to get some Publix swag. And
I was going to say, were they giving away free pub subs? Like, what was happening?
Man, I'd be there. The store added self-checkout and a cafe next to the bakery. But what you won't see, one of these, the signature Toledo scale near the entrance. Public officials confirmed new stores will not include them. That is sad to see those go, but I never used one. It was only the men who would weigh themselves with groceries.
Yes, I was going to say, with and then without. You know, they like to see the difference.
Our ClickOrlando.com team found out why those scales are no longer there. Just head on over to the website or the News 6 app to read the whole story.
If you're headed to the beach this weekend, you might see some construction on the sand.
Coming up at 4:30, how officials are protecting sea turtles as nesting season gets in full swing in Volusia County.
Imagine your home totally organized with Closets by Design. Live with ClickOrlando.com and streaming on News 6 Plus. This is News 6 at 4:30. Getting results.
Now at 4:30, a woman reunites with the team who saved her life after a serious crash. And it's all thanks to a first-of-its-kind program we told you about just last month.
Then rocket launches, they're happening more and more right from the Space Coast. Now researchers are sounding the alarm about what it could be doing to the air we breathe.
But first, 18 months since a warehouse storing fireworks went up in flames, killing 4 people, there are new details about what may have caused the destruction and where the case goes from here. I'm Lisa Bell.
Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Julie Broughton. It is hard to forget the aftermath. Back in December of 2022, the warehouse along Central Florida Parkway in Orange County was partially used by Magic in the Sky to store fireworks when it erupted in flames. Now, new documents are revealing how the company is preparing in court. News 6's Mark Lehman has the update. Today, a local mother of 6 got to meet the team who helped save her life. Her recovery highlights the promise of a new program unveiled just last month. Matt Austin is standing by with how it's already getting results.
Lori McKinn and her husband were on the way home from dinner earlier this month when they were involved in a serious crash. First responders determined Lori had traumatic internal injuries and she really needed blood, a transfusion, right away. Before last month, she would have had to wait until she got to the hospital for that. But thanks to a new program that launched March 21st, she already had that first unit of blood before she even got to the hospital, potentially saving her life. Lori said she was grateful and didn't even know the program existed.
And without you guys and the program and your training, they wouldn't have had that opportunity. They would have been burying me. And so getting to meet you is just, it's going to be forever embedded in my memory.
For me too. And I think this is a very special opportunity for all of us.
So we told you about this initiative last month. Orange County Fire Rescue, along with Orlando Health and One Blood, implemented a new pre-hospital whole blood program. When seconds matter most, it allows EMS crews to provide that blood transfusion to trauma patients in the field. But it's not just the program that saved a life. It's also the people. I'm talking volunteers, heroes, and those who donate their blood, allowing people like Lori a chance to be with her family yet again. So our goal with this is to tell you about this amazing program that saved this woman's life, but also that giving blood is needed right now, and especially with situations like this, saves a life.
You talk about seconds mattering and saving a life. That was Diana, the woman who actually did the transfusion on the way to the hospital. And had it not been for that new program that she hadn't heard about it because it's so new. Like, we just reported on it. But how many people may have not made it before that program even came into existence?
It is too much to count, and especially, what is that window? How far are you from the hospital?
Right.
15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes?
It matters.
And we know the need always goes up too, especially as we head into the summertime.
Yes.
There seems to be more people here, more accidents.
More crashes.
Yes.
Yes,
So.
and it just goes to show you how quickly life can change. They were just heading home after dinner and just thinking they were going to spend a normal night at home, and she's in the hospital fighting for her life.
Yeah. I'm so glad they got to talk and engage, and you could see that.
Yeah, she'll get some more nights at dinner.
I know,
Thanks
to that, yeah, for sure.
All right, Matt, thank you. We do have the steps on how you can donate, as well as donation centers near you. Just head to ClickOrlando.com and click the magnifying glass at the top of the homepage and search blood donations.
Helping new moms navigate life after childbirth was the topic of this morning's Breakfast with Bridget. Registered nurse and life coach Leslie Pittman dived into resources for supporting new moms. The mother of 2 small children pointed out how common it is for new moms to experience overwhelm and postpartum depression, and studies suggest the condition can last years. Through her experiences, Pittman developed a set of cards for busy new moms called You Just Had a Baby. The 30-card deck is filled with ideas for motivational activities, movements, and encouragement designed to make sure moms take at least one moment for self-care.
So I wanted to create something where you just take a card once a day and that's what you focus on. So this one here is a gentle stretch. And it tells you engage in a simple yoga stretch to relieve tension, focus on your breath while stretching to rejuvenate both body and mind. And then this one, you do not have to leave the house. And you would scan this QR code and it takes you to my YouTube channel where I have yoga, meditation, all of that for you.
Tomorrow on Breakfast with Bridget, the latest in skin cancer treatments. Catch it live weekdays at 7:30 a.m., followed by Weatherwise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas and Trooper Steve on patrol at 8:30. You can find it all on the new 6 Plus streaming app or clickorlando.com. That is so great, just a deck of cards, because, you know, when you have a baby, you feel just like you are, you know, anchored to a chair or anchored wherever. So, you know, a reminder to move or stretch.
Listen, I'm one of 15 children. I have not had children, but I clearly remember my mom saying to us, there's a period of 10 years of her life she doesn't even remember. And we didn't know what that meant, but now I think we have a name for it. But she just called it like every day. You just have to show up and be with your kids. But now that you think about it, I really regret that I did not probably realize how much she suffered in silence.
Right? I mean, And it was a blur for her.
For real,
It can be hard times. In just hours, SpaceX plans to launch another satellite mission from our coast.
Rockets are blasting off just about every week, it seems, something researchers now say is leaving metals behind in our atmosphere.
Wow, so we're not talking outer space, we're talking stratosphere, where I'm going to fly soon, and when I do fly, I'm flying at 50 or 60,000 feet, and you're telling me there's leftover rocket junk there?
Talk to Tom is up next. Jonathan.
We are pinpointing a really warm afternoon. Temperatures potentially going to break records this weekend. We're going to talk about how hot it gets and when the next shot of rain moves into Central Florida in a few minutes.
You're watching News 6 at 4:30, getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers. Sanford, you welcomed News 6 into your community, and we thank you.
I think it makes the people feel very proud that you're here.
We hit the road and brought our entire newscast to Sanford Live.
And that just shows you how caring Channel 6 is. Always getting results, that's for sure.
We told your stories, gave out some awesome prizes, connected with you, and put the spotlight on Sanford.
I thank you guys for being here. I'm happy you guys are here to celebrate Sanford.
Thank you for helping us get results in your community. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
Very nice afternoon, but we are on the hotter side. Temperatures getting back to around 90 degrees, but beautifully blue skies. A little hazy out there. It's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando delivering hope Skycam. We have air temperatures now in the mid 80s. The wind shifting a little bit, variable winds, very light at about 5 miles an hour. We'll continue to see them shift a little bit to a more southerly component to pump in some extra warmth over the next few days. Air temperatures for us in Leesburg in the mid 80s. We're at 83 in Daytona Beach. Good afternoon in De Leon Springs. We're hanging around 90 right now. 80 for us in Melbourne. Rockledge, we're checking in at right around 80 degrees as well. Next few hours, we are nice and quiet. Rain is going to be very, very hard to come by until we get to Monday. There we go. Overnight, mainly clear skies are with us. And just like what we've seen over the past few days, the morning will feature a few of those higher clouds trying to pass right on through, and then we get more sunshine. See these clouds bubbling up here? That's the sea breeze getting going. We're hot enough to initiate the sea breeze tomorrow. That's 4 o'clock. I think most of us would just see a few extra puffy clouds with the heating of the day as that sea breeze gets going. Stray opportunity for a shower going to be there, but still the air in the mid-levels of our atmosphere, super dry right now, so rain is going to, again, be hard to come by until we get an actual front to come through on Monday. There's 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, if you're hanging out late to start your weekend, things are looking pretty good. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
Even hotter tomorrow, back to around 70 to start the day. That's at 8 o'clock in the morning, 85 for us by lunchtime, then 91 by 4. And that's one of the cooler days coming on the pipeline over the next couple, especially as we get into your weekend. We're clear tonight on the milder side again with temperatures falling back into the 60s over the weekend. This is where it gets really hot again. We are flirting with record territory as we get into the middle 90s. And then once we get to next week, a touch cooler. We're not talking about a big blast of cold air behind this front, but it will get a little bit cooler behind the front. Big time heat, though, for this weekend. Low to mid-90s coming down the pipeline. There's the front with the chance for thunderstorms hanging off towards our north and west. There we go as we get into Sunday afternoon and evening. The front is on our doorstep. We're still dry on Sunday, but out ahead of it, again, you see what color is that? Orange. My gosh, I almost said it was purple. Orange and red there. Need more coffee. In the afternoon. Orange and red as we surge that warmth back into Central Florida. And then there we go, getting into Monday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms come back down the pipeline as that front comes on through. On Saturday, though, that's going to be our best shot to break some records. The record high temperature for Orlando on Saturday is 96. Current forecast at 94. We're at 93 degrees in Sanford. 94 is our forecast, so we're getting close. We have at least entered the stadium. I would not be surprised, though, if we do see some records fall. We're going to get really, really close to that. All right, there we go. Mid-90s over the weekend. Rain chances, again, super, super low. Once we get into Monday, they'll go up a little bit as that cold front comes in. The sun, guys, it's yellow. That's the right color for that.
I was shaken. I was completely in disbelief. What are the chances to something landing on my house with such force to cause so much damage? And totally, I'm super grateful that nobody got hurt.
We brought you this story earlier this week of a Florida man recounting the moments a 4-inch chunk of space debris came crashing into his home in Naples. NASA later confirmed the object was an old battery mount let go from the International Space Station.
It was a close call, to say the least, but certainly not the first time space debris has made its way back to Earth. So with a record-breaking number of launches on our Space Coast, what is being done about all the pollution that's left behind in space?
Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells talked to a researcher who says it's not the large pieces of metal we should be worried about, it's the vapor that ends up in our atmosphere.
Got another launch tonight.
You really do.
More space junk headed our way.
But that piece of chunk that fell in the home in Naples had been circling for like 2 years before it actually, they thought it was going to burn up in the atmosphere, and it didn't.
I mean, we are all so lucky that that thing didn't hurt anyone.
Well, his son was in the room next door, so just a matter of feet, and we'd be telling a different story.
I don't think that it should be a giant worry on anybody's mind, though, because the chances, I mean, we're on this big giant ball, 80% of it's water.
It could have.
Could have.
It went through that guy's house.
Through their house.
The chances are so minuscule.
I understand there's no need to sit here and worry about it, but still.
All right, we'll continue with point counterpoint after the break. You can listen to Talk to Tom anytime you want. Just search WKMG wherever you get your podcast, and watch the full episode on the News 6 app for your smart TV.
There's a lot coming up on News 6 at 5.
Matt.
Wow. That was intimidating, ladies. We see a lot of weird stuff here in Florida. I think that's safe to say. We just talked about space junk. But does it get any weirder than a green dog?
Wow. I want it.
We introduce you to Shamrock and explain his interesting fur coming up at 5 o'clock. And if you like to vote by mail, the way you request your ballot might be changing. What you need to know.